pizza per house.
Oh my god, have you seen this booth? It's so beautiful. Really, really cool. All these postcards. Oh, you know, I actually follow this girl, Miss. Hold on, can you come over here? I just want to show you just how pretty. Yeah, wow. Do you see this guy? Kind of starchy. Oh man, beautiful art. I'm just so amazed. Look at it. Yeah, wow. This is such a great booth. I love how this art looks. Oh, this is really high quality, actually. I don't think I can actually buy through it. Good stuff.
So I have a lot of mixed feelings about this event. It's definitely one of the most unique vending experiences as an artist you'll ever get. After all, the booth is completely free if you're able to jury in. So you might hear free booth and go, ooh, that's the show for me. Now, unfortunately, due to this year's controversies, this decision might not be so clear-cut. For those who have been living under a rock and haven't heard, Twitch had multiple controversies over the TwitchCon weekend. Most notably, Emaru was assaulted by a fan who skipped her meet and greet line, forcibly grabbed her, and tried to kiss her. The assaulter then walked out of the venue without being detained. Twitch responded by permanently banning them from their live events. Emaru has confirmed that she is pressing charges against him. A fan who was waiting in line was recording at the time of the incident. You don't have to go far to find this footage online, but I'm not going to show it here as it is quite hard to look at. Essentially, a larger man is able to walk past security uncontested, grabs Emaru, at which place a struggle takes place. Emaru's personal security pushes the guy off of her. But essentially, TwitchCon staff did nothing and even allowed the assaulter to walk out of TwitchCon freely. Although this was the most concerning incident that happened at TwitchCon this year, VTuber guests at TwitchCon also reported that the security guards at the event trashed the gifts that were meant for them from fans instead of setting them aside like they were supposed to do. Another streamer also claimed that malware was installed on one of the TwitchCon provided PCs, compromising her personal information and privacy. And that's only a few of the known issues that occurred at this year's 2025 event. But it seems like every year, Twitch drops the ball in kind of a major way. Ironically, the Artist Alley is one of the smoothest run Artist Alleys I've ever been to. Maybe it's just who's ever in charge of that department is the actual GOAT. I'm not really sure what the factor here is, other than the people running the Artist Alley seem to care about it. The artists themselves are treated really well at this event. And that's not just because they gave me a free booth. If I ignored the whole content creators being attacked in the next room over, from my perspective as an artist, I would think that the events actually run really well. My biggest complaint is actually the way that the venue is set up and how difficult it is to load in and out as an artist. Certainly not the largest criticism I've had for other events. However, none of that really matters when you think about if this guy wanted to harm or even kill, he probably would have been successful. And that's a terrifying thought. And again, this is one of the biggest creators in the space with two sets of security, Twitch's and their own personal security. If they're not safe, somebody who can afford to have personal security, how should anybody else feel? And if that's the sentiment, well, I love a profitable event, but I don't see a long-term path for success without major changes. I've spoken to people who are way more prominent in this space than I could ever hope to be, that are already planning on blacklisting this event next year. And if those types of people, as a whole, do not show up to the event, you do not have a TwitchCon. It doesn't matter how good my experience as a vendor was. And although the event for me was quite profitable, I got to do a lot of networking, I met some art directors, I met a lot of creators that I really look up to and admire. Dare I say, this is one of my favorite events of the year. And if next year, if all the largest streamers in the space decide to blacklist TwitchCon and I show up anyways because I want to make that bag, now that's going to look bad on me. Perception and the PR damage that have been done here is irreversible. The mountain that Twitch is going to have to climb to fix this, to fix the public persona of these issues, is massive. Not only do they actually have to fix these issues and make sure that their big streamers are safe including everybody else, would be great as well. But they also have to pretend like they give a shit. The longevity of this event is very much in question, as there was already major concerns for many of the top creators in the space before this even happened. The show really needed to be on its best behavior this year. It's not like the warning signs weren't there. To fail so publicly, even after all of this public discourse beforehand, is mind-blowing. Twitch really needs to get its priorities straight.
Cutie and I are not going to TwitchCon anymore. We did back out. I'm just really uncomfortable with the world right now. America is in a weird spot. Weird things are happening, and it's just, I don't feel safe. I'm just uncomfortable.
I might be the prettiest girl in the room, but nobody's coming to TwitchCon to buy my prints. That's not the reason people come to this show. That's an afterthought. They're there to meet their favorite streamer. Now, a year is a long time, and maybe Twitch will make some major changes and everything will be amazing next year. Who's to know? But let's say you get in and you decide to go to the event, despite all of these things. Now, keep in mind, there are some criteria that you have to meet to be considered for the Artist Alley. One, obviously you have to be an artist. And two, you have to stream on Twitch in some capacity. It seems like the more successful of a streamer you are, or the more successful of a content creator you are, the more likely you are to get into the event. And I would say overall, TwitchCon is a really cool, unique event that I always really enjoy and is quite profitable, considering there's no overhead cost. What are you to expect from a show like this? It is not like your normal anime expo or Comic-Con. This is a very different audience that goes to this show. Be prepared to be on camera 100% of the time. There's a lot of big content creators, and there's a lot of wannabe content creators. And there's a lot of wannabe content creators that don't have social skills or understand what and what isn't appropriate. No shock there. But what I mean by this when it comes to the artists is that people are constantly shoving cameras in your face. And now there is an expectation that everybody is streaming, and that's fine. I have no problem with being on camera. But when somebody comes up and tells you to say hi to chat and puts you on the spot and starts demanding questions from you with no real understanding of what they're asking and no real care for you as a person or an artist, just viewing you as content, which will happen multiple times an hour every single day, it can be frustrating, as this type of social interaction can be especially draining. So if these are things that you are not prepared for, perhaps this might be an event that you might want to skip. And now, if you want to stream at TwitchCon and use the Artist Alley as content, there is a graceful way to do this. And there's some not so graceful ways to do that. And if this is something you haven't thought about, you've probably been doing it incorrectly. Someone walking up, putting a camera 2 inches from my face and demanding I give a 3-page synopsis on every one of my pieces so I can fill screen time for them, is not the play. Duck. And now I want to thank every duck that showed up to my duck meet and greet. Like and subscribe. Now, with that all out of the way, what actually happened at TwitchCon? How was my actual experience? What were some of the things that you can expect going to this event, assuming that it still exists? Now, I've done TwitchCon twice, once at the Vegas location 2 years ago, and then this year at the San Diego location. And I will say that this location is a lot better. There's a lot more to do. There's a lot more going on. There's concerts going on all over the place. There's cosplayer events. There's main stage events. There's meet and greets. There's everything you can think of. There is so much to do. And also a lot of the streamers go shopping, so they came to me, so that was cool. I won't say who, but you know. I was starstruck a couple times. Whatever. But I kept my cool. You know what I'm saying? I watched some tournaments, did a little shopping, ripped some packs, pulled a $700 card, whatever, the norm. And then I even went to the block party. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I am not a party person. I don't even really drink. A little taste test here or there, sure, but it's just not really my thing. And now this is also an extra ticketed event. I believe it was $125 extra. Considering everything else for me was free, is this worth it? Now, what is the block party? It is a section of San Diego that is essentially cut off for an entire evening. You get free food, you get free drinks, there are multiple stages, there's all sorts of things happening. Honestly, a really cool time. And although I don't think that this event is for me, if you eat a lot and you drink a lot, this event definitely pays for itself. Overall, I think all of the events, panels, and things at TwitchCon are really cool. I'd walk onto the balcony and see like 4 live bands going. There's a lot to do, like a lot more than at your average Comic-Con. Dare I say, I kind of think the Artist Alley is like the main event at most conventions, but definitely not here.
And make some noise for Emmy right fucking now!
So if you're thinking about attending TwitchCon, I definitely think the event is worth it. What about vending? Did the money make sense? Well, again, the booth is free, so depending on your travel expenses, this could be a really cheap show for you. I lived in LA, I was able to drive there. My only cost was gas and hotel, and I guess food, and the block party ticket, but you don't need to buy that. And I easily made over 5 figures in gross sales. Now, I'm very established in the space, and that's closer to my average when I vend an event. I consider TwitchCon more of a networking event for myself, but with so little expenses, profits are very high here, even with the lackluster economy at the moment. I heard a lot of vendors who had done San Diego TwitchCon last year say that sales were way down this year. Now, I wasn't there to compare, but I would say my sales were similar to the Vegas show 2 years ago. And everybody there said Vegas sales were really low for them. So, I don't know. I missed all the years that sales were apparently bonkers and amazing, but I still thought it was pretty good. I mean, you're only competing with 120 other booths compared to most shows with the 400 plus or AX with the 1,000 plus booths. I think there's a lot of W's here. Also, not as big of a story as the Imaru situation. One of the artists got kicked out of the show Sunday morning. And now me and everybody around was kind of confused on what had happened. We saw staff removing one of the artists. And initially we were like, oh, maybe they sold out of everything and the staff is helping them leave because they have nothing else to sell. But then we later heard that they were kicked out and nobody really knew why. So I did a little internet digging. I didn't know this artist personally, and it turns out that they were 3D printing prop knives, and that goes against Twitch's policy, which makes sense. So they were banned from TwitchCon for 30 days or something. I don't know. Twitch's responses to things are always a little weird. I'm like, they had already been there for like 90% of the show. Like, why not just tell them to remove the product that they're not allowed to have? Or maybe they refuse. I don't know. There just wasn't, I don't know. Maybe I just don't have enough information about this one. But yes, so there was an artist that was removed for selling prop knives. I normally don't like to mention stories without more information, but I thought that was interesting. So if any of you guys know, let me know in the comments, because I'm a little nosy. I want to know what happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it when I don't got the info. But also, this makes me question TwitchCon's security even further. When the artists and vendors had to check into the convention hall, our bags were completely checked every single day. They opened up our merch and inventory and checked every bag and box that we brought into the convention center, which on first glance seems to be a bit more strict than other venues, as typically the artists don't get checked so thoroughly. But if they have this type of screening in place and then missed an entire suitcase full of prop knives or some type of other weaponry, is this just all for show? What are they actually doing? What if somebody more insidious was bringing something questionable into the venue? Not sure why anybody would be worried about that, considering this year's events. Also, I do an exclusive print every year. This year, I did it in collaboration with Miss Lala. And a little background lore, although Lala is a very prominent VTuber, their background is as a costume designer within the film industry. They helped me construct the custom fabrics for my booth. So a big shout out to them. So you can see why I'm very conflicted on this event. Overall, I had a great time, but the safety concerns are monumental. Would you still choose to go to this event as an artist if you had the opportunity? Free booths are very rare, especially in this economy. If you guys have any thoughts about this, please let me know in the comments down below.
It's coming to a close. I guess I should know that I'm never gonna see you again in a place that sells vintage clothes. I guess you should know that it hasn't been the easiest years for a band living in the throes. And then I see a smile between repetitive aisles of flannel shirts, and I thought you would show like a beautiful ghost caught in a saving throw.